Breaking news.
Drama! Yes, drama when it comes to Manchester United.
It's all kicking off.
Man United won't break the bank for him. And if Man United won't break the bank for him, they've got other targets.
Oh, look at this. It's all gone wrong. It's all gone pear-shaped. There you go. Fix it. I'm back. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Bloody technical snafus from the start. It's all right. No one ever saw it. No one ever saw it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Breaking news.
Drama! Yes, drama when it comes to Manchester United.
It's all kicking off.
Man United won't break the bank for him. And if Man United won't break the bank for him, they've got other targets.
Like nothing ever happened. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. Bit of a false start there, but we got there in the end. Yes, we're talking about Manchester United. We're talking about transfers. We're talking about strikers this morning. Are we paranoid when it comes to which person is going to be the number 9? Are we all aboard the crazy train? One thing's for certain, we're going through changes. R.I.P. Aussie. Because Manchester United are looking for a striker, we're looking for a number 9. We've done Matheus Cunha. Tick, number 10. We've done Brian Mbeumo. Tick, number 19. Now we're looking for the final piece of that front three. We're looking for a striker. We're looking for a number 9. Is it Benjamin Sesko? Is it Ollie Watkins? Is it Nicholas Jackson? Is it someone else? Because they're all too expensive. Is it someone we haven't even been linked to yet? There's still plenty of time to go. It's still only July. The window shuts at the beginning of September. But what does start this weekend, in fact, right now, just flying out. Let me, if I can just sync up my watch like this. Right now, Flex, KG, Just Josh Media, Graphics Guru, Visual Ninja, they're flying out to the United States because the pre-season tour begins. And with that, we get closer and closer to the beginning of the actual season. Are we ready? How many more signings do we need? Which striker do we need? You let me know, as always. Welcome to the Transfer View. Hope everyone is doing very well. Welcome back to United View. Yes, we are here. We are ready. We are already over 100 likes. We are already close to 600 people watching. So if you haven't already, click the like button and be sure to subscribe. As you can see right there in the top right-hand corner. And also, actually, you would be able to see in the sidebar, all of the preseason fixtures are up. Yes, all of the preseason fixtures are up and they're ready. Or the USA ones. I haven't put the Fiorentina one yet. But yes, they're all there. So it's exciting time. I don't know about you. Maybe it's because I'm back. Maybe it's because Manchester United are back playing football. I don't know what it is. I've got energy this morning. I've got, you know, it was like that on Saturday, wasn't it? Where you go, I'm ready to be hurt again. And Manchester United kind of did. It was 0-0. It was very boring. Very boring. But we're not even going to focus on that. We're going to be talking about strikers, talking about Manchester United. I can see Tabrez in the chat says, good morning, Owen. Good morning, Tabs. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Frimpong says, I need some good news. I don't know if I can give you good news. I can give you news. I just news. You know, you never know. We can give you that. Michael says, welcome back, Owen. Yeah, I was off for a couple of days, but now I'm back. We're locked in. This is the place to be for pre-season, folks. Of course, you know how it goes here at United View for pre-season. Flex, KG, Just Josh Media, Graphics Guru, Visual Ninja. As I said, they're on their way to the US of A right now. And you know how it goes for pre-season. We're going to have stadium tours, player interviews, behind-the-scenes vlogs, collaborations, fan views, player ratings, match views in the Asylum. The Americanized Asylum, yes, with the fireworks, will be back on Saturday as well. And everything else in between. Your regular scheduled broadcast channels, and not sure that really makes any sense, will still be usual. I'll be holding the fort down here. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun indeed. But yes, we're going to talk about strikers this morning. We're going to be talking about how actually the ones that we've been linked with, maybe that actually maybe they're not actually even that kind of real. So we're going to be talking about that. We're also, speaking of links that aren't that real, we're going to be talking about Jadon Sancho, whereby you get all of this news, don't you, from Italian journalists, Sancho this, Sancho that, he's going to Juventus. It's never, remember the other day, it's never been more close. Never been more close. Apparently, it's just as close as me getting married to Margot Robbie. It's not happening, okay? Or who was the one I mentioned the other day? Ana de Armas. Yeah, not happening. In fact, she's not even returning my phone calls, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be legal action. So, you know, that one's not happening. So apparently fake news. And also going to be talking about the preseason expectations, etc., etc., etc. So it's going to be a big show indeed. Be sure to get your chats in. Like Joe Fleming says, don't you even dare with Jackson. I might be sick. Going full Arteta.
I feel sick. That's how I feel. I feel sick.
I'm with you. Aloha from Liam. Aloha says, how do you feel about the João Palhinha links? Well, it's kind of how do I feel about any Manchester United links at the moment. I take everything with a pinch of salt. And not too much because you don't want to retain too much water weight. But I take it with a pinch of salt. About yay big with everything with Manchester United at the moment. Zayn Miasi says, well, it's tremendous actually, isn't it? Because it's meant to be a super chat that kind of is cooking Manchester United. You know, saying that Gyökeres is going to be cooking us on opening day, but hasn't even spelled Gyökeres properly. I mean, to be fair, I hope that Gyökeres, maybe you said Gyökeres is going to be cooking us on opening day, because I don't know who that is. So that might be there's someone from their academy. Because I'm not sure. Gyökeres will be cooking us on opening day.
Now go home and smoke some more crack.
It's early. It's early for crack. You know, it's only 9:13, Zayn Miasi. It's early, but yes, I did see that yesterday. I saw Gyökeres. Here we go. Yesterday, I haven't seen Gyökeres actually. Is Gyökeres? We'll have a look at that one. We'll have a look. Strikers, yes, I promise you, strikers. Let's talk about strikers. Indeed, strikers for Manchester United. Well, this is where it gets quite curious, folks, because I've been asking recently, haven't I? Who's next? Bill Goldberg settings. Who's next? And not Bill Goldberg settings whereby I'm going to do the show and then piss and complain about it afterwards. This is legitimately, who is next? Who's next? Because Manchester United, according to David Ornstein and others, the focus is now on other areas, including the number 9. Of course, that's because we've signed Matheus Cunha. We've signed Brian Mbeumo. And now we're looking at a number 9. We did have some recent inquiries for 2 players that have gone to other clubs. Hugo Ekitike, of course, on his way to Liverpool. Victor Gyökeres, not Gyökeres, was brought up earlier by Zayn Miasi, but Victor Gyökeres. Here we go to Arsenal yesterday from Fabrizio. So that's left some other names like Benjamin Sesko, Ollie Watkins, and Nicholas Jackson on a list. But according to David Ornstein, we're not actively pursuing them. The reason being is because all are considered to be too expensive. But this could change if the prices for each reduce. So Manchester United are now currently working more on other candidates. Now, we don't know who those other candidates are, but that leads to the question as to who would you like them to be, I suppose. Who should Manchester United go after? I mean, in terms of the profile of those 3 players that seemingly we're not going for, we've got some little things we can get on the screen. Benjamin Sesko, we could put him right there. 22, Leipzig, striker, but expensive, very expensive. It's been reported that it could be around sort of 80 to 100 million euro. And in fact, it's a bit of a strange one with Benjamin Sesko, because wasn't it a year ago he had a release clause in his contract and then he signed a new contract? I don't think he has a release clause now, as far as I'm aware. I can't remember. But the suggestion is it's been between 80 to 100 million euro, which, if that's the case for Manchester United, I mean, it rules out us kind of going for Benjamin Sesko, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. Where's the button?
Well, it's Groundhog Day again.
A 22-year-old from a European league, who, how many goals did he score last season, Benjamin Sesko? I'm sure people have been checking this out. Benjamin Sesko stats, because if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't loads, was it? Last season. Here we go with the watch caller and the thingy. Shout out KG, Black Comedian. It was last season, he scored 13 goals. 13 goals in the Bundesliga, 21 goals in all comps in 45 appearances. 21 goals all comps, 13 in the Bundesliga, a goal sort of every 3-ish games. 80 to 100 million euros, which is what, around sort of 80 million pounds if you paid the 100. That's a lot. That's a lot. We've kind of done that before, haven't we? We've done that a lot where we go, wow, young. A lot of people in Europe are looking at that. That seems like a gamble. And it would appear in this window, certainly, Manchester United have been opposed to those kind of gamble signings. We are the Red Devils, and we're very much after better the devil you know. We've been going for Premier League proven players, haven't we? We've been going for Matheus Cunha, one of the standout players in the Premier League last season. Some of the best attacking numbers out of any club, any player in the Premier League last season, signed. Brian Mbeumo in the Premier League last season, 20 goals. 20. Bear in mind, Benjamin Sesko in the Bundesliga, not disrespect the Bundesliga or anything like that. We're saying 13 Bundesliga goals last season, and it's 80 to 100 million euro. We just signed Brian Mbeumo for 65 plus 6. He got 20 goals in the Premier League last season, and also was it like 7 assists in the Premier League proven. He's been doing it for a couple of seasons now, and he's in his prime, ready to go. That just seems to me, maybe I'm wrong, that just seems to me like a risky signing that I don't think Manchester United would do. I don't. Now we move on to Nicholas Jackson here, who we've also been linked to, 24 years old from Chelsea. Look at that price. It's even worse. Well, at least with Sesko, it was euros. This is pounds, suggesting that Chelsea would be looking for 80 to 100 million pounds. I pressed the button earlier on. I'll press it again. Well, I could press so many buttons, actually.
Disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful.
I know, Kenny. It is. Absolutely disgraceful. It said, Jackson, 80 to 100 million pounds.
No, wait a minute.
No, I know Chelsea. It's a weird one with Chelsea, isn't it? Because just when you think, they don't know what they're doing in the market, they do actually know what they're doing in the market. I saw this morning, I think it was Fabrizio, saying they've agreed personal terms with Xavi Simons. I mean, just constantly getting signings. Just when you think they're done, they're not done. And actually, what does that mean for Alejandro Garnacho? For all of the chatter of, he might go to Chelsea, because they'll keep signing wingers, they'll keep signing wide players. Well, Xavi Simons, Garnacho one, I don't think that's going to happen. So what does that mean for him? Not sure. But with Nicholas Jackson, I've been very vocal on my feelings about that signing. Not interested. Not interested. Now, if it was for a significantly lesser fee, I'd go, well, let's have a chat. Is it the right deal to do? 80 to 100 million pounds for someone who is not in Chelsea's team at the moment. I don't think in their plans. They signed João Pedro. They've signed 2 strikers this summer. Jackson, he's done all right in the league and scoring goals, but misses chances. Does create, this is what James was kind of saying the other day, does create chances and get him right spaces, but it takes he scores 1 in 5, 1 in 10. Also recently, he's just started getting sent off all the time. All the time. And we'd be doing Chelsea a favour there, let's face it, wouldn't we? They've signed 2 strikers. If if you can give Chelsea an excuse to spend, they will. Why would we give them 80 to 100 million pounds, which we don't have? Like, we don't. And if we can fundraise that, then you would say spend it on like three or four signings as opposed to on Nicholas Jackson. If it was like a top one of the best players in Europe, you go, all right, fair enough. I get it. I get that, but it's Nicholas Jackson. So no, not interested in that one. Do not even want it to be broached, brought up, or even hinted at again. Leaves this other one, Ollie Watkins. Now, you know me. I'm on board with this. I'm on board with Ollie Watkins. I've been banging the Ollie Watkins drum for several years at this point. Several years. Suggestion is that Watkins could be available 60. I think the reports of 70 are wide of the mark, but possibly 60, maybe a little bit lower. It depends what's happening with Garnacho. Garnacho could be key to this deal too. Possibly Emi Martinez as well. There were reports Man United put a loan bid in for Emi Martinez over the weekend, wasn't there? But Watkins, you've got Premier League proven. You've got goal scorer season after season in the Premier League. The fee is still a bit too high for a 29-year-old. But I think a lot of people are focusing maybe a bit too much on the age there. Because even if he came to Man United, let's say Ollie Watkins is good for 2 or 3 seasons. Oh, he'll fall off a cliff when he's 32. You know, all right. As long as he scores goals, as long as he scores goals, and you know, you don't give him a 5-year deal, maybe give him a 3-year deal, 3+1, something like that. There's ways to circumnavigate that deal. And like I said, he's ready to go now. There shouldn't be any adaptation period there. Should there? I mean, if you want to look at Ollie Watkins, let's have a look at Ollie Watkins' numbers the last few seasons in the Premier League as well. And I know that the natural pushback is, yeah, but Owen, that's in a Aston Villa team that's good. We're shit. I understand that. Last season, 16 goals in the Premier League in 38 appearances. Season before that, it was 19 goals in 37 appearances in the Premier League. Season before that, it was 15 goals plus 6 assists in the Premier League. I actually even didn't read out assists. If we're going to do that whole, you know, goal contributions, like that 21. But see, when he scored 19 goals in the Premier League, got 15 assists as well. Bloody hell! Like 34 goal involvements last season. Goal involvements, 24 goal involvements. So you've got a player there that not only, and actually helps for our front three, because this has been the chatter about that front three. You've got Matheus Cunha and you've got Bryan Mbeumo. Yes, obviously a lot of people are focusing there on goals, but you've also got to factor in assists. So we've had this issue, haven't we, whereby sometimes with our strikers, we say, well, outside of the goals, I mean, I know we do this with a lot of players. You know, if you take away their best attribute, what they're really offering. But if you're saying that then with Ollie Watkins, yeah, but what else is he offering? Well, he's offering assists. He's offering link-up play. He's offering someone that can actually bring Bryan Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha into the game. That's an entire front three there that not only gets you goals, but also gets you assists, can work together. It's not one of those front threes where it's like, well, I need the 2 10s. I need the 2 10s just to make chances for the striker. That's just constant chances, constant flow. I've got 3 players there that are going to be sharing around the goals. I've got 3 players there that are Premier League proven. I've got 3 players there that consistently over the last 2 to 3 seasons in the Premier League have been putting up numbers. Now, never in a million years for 70. Even 60 is a bit too far for me. But I think if out of those 3 options, and there might be other options. So like we said in that report, you know, they're all being determined as quite expensive at the moment. So United are looking at other options. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But like I said, 70, absolutely no way. 60, no way. If you can get into around that 50 mark and again, have that discussion about Garnacho and say, not again, they won't be swaps. These will be done separately. There'll be separate deals whereby Aston Villa go after Alejandro Garnacho. Let's say they pay 50-ish, maybe a bit above that, 55, a lot of add-ons, maybe a total package of 60, but it's pure profit. So you can make potentially, you know, technically count to be like 150 odd million, couldn't it? Then you can get Ollie Watkins around 50-ish. Maybe get Emi Martinez on loan. I mean, it looks like as well, actually, we're going to be getting that goalkeeper from Antwerp, doesn't it? So for like 17 odd million, 20 million. So that all falls within that kind of remit. That feels like that could be the place to do it. As far as sort of a unanimous opinion on Ollie Watkins, we're never going to get it. We're never going to get that because we don't do that as a fan base. I mean, we can be linked with the best player in Europe, and we will find problems with them. You know, we will. So I'm not expecting 100% unanimous. Yes, Ollie Watkins is the guy. But out of those three, he would be my preferred option. But I'm open to other ones that haven't even really been linked to, or we haven't really discussed just yet. We shall see. In fact, someone said put up a poll. I will. I'll take this one down. If United had to sign one of these strikers, who would you pick? Now, this is under the assumption that these are the only choices. Okay, so we'll go with Sesko, we'll go with Jackson, and we'll go with Watkins. Or do I put neither in there? Do I put a neither option? To put a neither option? I'll put neither. I'll put neither. There you go. It's in there. It's in there. It's in there. It's in there. Fabio said Flex did the poll already. Well, Flecknology. This one will be better. This one will be better. Because I think it'll be interesting. And you know what would be interesting actually? What were the results? I was out of commission. What were the results of that poll? Just out of curiosity. Because it'll be interesting if it's different. Because that would sum up the United fan base a lot actually. If one day it was one answer and one day it was completely different. That would be funny. That would be funny. So we'll let that continue. We've got Sesko won by marginal gains. Watkins S. Well, I'm getting bloody out. We'll get Sesko won. I'll get a mix. I'll get mixed here. Sesko won flex. Really? Did he? I'm surprised by that. Really? Well, well, interesting. Sesko won that. Interesting. As of now, Watkins is winning by quite some considerable margin. It's 47%. Sesko's on 29%. Jackson's on 8%, and neither is on 15%. But we'll let that keep. We'll let that keep going. We'll let that keep going. Yeah, interesting. Democracy. If you haven't already clicked the like button as well, we're 200 away from 500 likes. So be sure to click the like button and see if we can get to 500 for a soloing show. Also, actually, as well, as I go back to the this on the sidebar here, as you would have seen in the video yesterday, if you haven't seen it, Flex and KG, they're going to be live in person, yeah, at the Longacre Tavern in New York. It's on, I think it's tomorrow, isn't it? July 24th, I believe it is. So you can still get your tickets out there if you're in New York or the surrounding areas. I mean, you know, if you're not in the country, it might be I'm not sure it's a destination event, but you never know. You can scan the QR code, links in the video description. It's also pinned in the chat. You can get your tickets. You can go and check out the video they did yesterday, kind of a what's to expect kind of situation. It's a live show, so they can say things they are not allowed to say on stream. People are going to get up onto the stage, KG. If you've never seen KG like live in person, the way he commands the stage, or he just it's remarkable to see. And I'm not even bullshitting you. It really is. He's very, very talented. So be sure to check that out. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm sure it'll probably end up like on like a members content maybe, but then again, depends what they say. Depends what they say and do. But yeah, so be sure to scan the QR code, links in the video description, pinned in the chat, all different ways you can get your tickets. Where are we at to the super chats here? Where's Wally? I don't know because his chat's disappeared, but thank you for the contribution. Says Joe Fleming says, give me Watkins for Garnacho all day. So it looks like Joe would have voted for Watkins on that poll. Where's Wally's back again? Says Mbumo striker, Ahmad right 10, Dumfries right wing back 35 million. I tell you what, a lot of people were talking about the right hand side for Manchester United. Isn't it funny the whole how long and often KG did the daily answer the right hand side, or this, that, and the other? Because people were looking at that right hand side now, going, well, you know, Lenny Yoro's right centre back, Ahmad's right wing back, Brian Mbumo's right 10. It's not bad, is it? It's not bad. And it's funny the difference that just one signing can make, isn't it? Because this time last week, we're going into that first game of preseason against Leeds, and we're like, oh, we're so shit. And we still are. But we're like, oh, we're so shit. And we watched that first preseason game, and it was a rough watch. I mean, I don't think the meltdown was totally justified. I get it, though, as Flex has mentioned many times recently, because after what happened last season, nobody's in any position, I think, to be like, oh, you're either overreacting or underreacting. Everyone's going to have their different reaction to it, aren't they? Because we did finish 15th. We are crap. And we're desperate to see it get better, or at least just a little bit of improvement with anything. We are willing to latch on to anything. Just give us something. So when they saw that game against Leeds, it was like, oh my God, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. But now Brian Mbumo's through the door. It's, oh, actually, you know, Mbumo into that team, that's good. Get some more goals into that team, and if we can get a striker in, because now it's like, well, that's 2 players for the beginning of tour. Which if you've offered me that at the end of the last season, I go, yeah, okay, which 2 players? And go, well, I can give you Mbumo and Cunha before tour even starts. You go, all right, okay, and we'll be working on a striker. We'll probably sign a striker for the start of the season, hopefully. Go, okay, well, I actually had a goalkeeper. Because that one, those links are quite real. You go, okay. So there is a whiff, isn't there? There's a whiff of optimism. There's a whiff of positivity, and still a huge stink. But we've still got a huge stink from last season. But you know, there's this massive turd in the room that we've kind of trying to ignore, which is 15th place in the Premier League. We've started spraying some Febreze on it and going, I think the smell of shit's still here, but I'm getting a bit of Febreze. You know, maybe. Not sure where that analogy was going. Yeah. Joe Fleming says, I don't think Sesko would be the same risk Rasmus was. Look, I think they're both risks in their own way. I mean, the Rasmus one, I mean, you talk about a deal that ages like milk in the hot sun. You know, total package, 70-odd million pounds. Scored like 9 goals in Serie A. Talk about that would, for me, be justification to never do negotiations with Atalanta again. Not out of like anger, just more out of embarrassment. You know, just more out of we can't show our face at that table again, because oh my God, they took the piss out of us. Like they absolutely took the piss out of us. And it's not even like necessarily a super harsh thing on Rasmus, because I know when we talk about him, sometimes you do get the pushback of, it's not his fault and this, that, and the other. And look, aspects of that aren't his fault. Obviously, the price tag isn't his fault. He was deemed to be a striker target in addition to a ready-made, ready-to-go striker. But also, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't. He's just not that. Even if we had signed him for 40 million, I think we'd be talking now, going, "No, I'm not really sure this is right." And to be fair, David Ornstein last few days hasn't he been saying that Højlund could be likely to go, and I don't know if he needs a loan away or it's just permanently away. But he came on against Leeds, didn't he? When talking about the same old, I think the first thing he did was he was on the floor in the penalty area wrestling with someone. Again, back to goal. And I thought, yeah. I mean, that was very much.
Well, it's Groundhog Day. Again?
Yeah. And you sort of go. And look, in fairness, in the first half, Cheeto, bless him, started up front and didn't really see too much of him, did we? Because we didn't really create all that much. The biggest thing he had a couple of things. He took one off Cunha's foot, which Cunha looked a bit pissed off about. And he had that shot from tight angle. He was never going to score. Goalkeeper sort of parried it out. But, yeah, I don't. The Hulk Højlund names aren't really going anywhere, are they? It's DJ Buzzy says, I like Sesko, but we can't rely on a 22-year-old with no Premier League experience. We need experience and an experienced forward. Let's stop mentioning Jackson's name. Thanks. Well, I do think there is a desire, like I said. I do think there is a desire from Man United this summer. When you look at those names immediately, Cunha and Bumo, Premier League proven. And Premier League proven tax, and inevitably when they have a bad game, it's going to be, Prem proven, right? But they are good signings. They are good signings. And I mentioned this before about the Mbumo one. Don't let the time it took to get that deal done take away from that is actually a very good signing. For all of the shit that Man United puts us through, which is a lot, which is considerable, and for all of the failures that we have in the transfer market, more often than not, and there are several, Cunha and Mbumo are very good signings. To be completely honest with you, they're signings that, after how we performed last season in the Prem, we kind of have no business making. It's because they really want to join Man United, and they only wanted to join Man United. It's because they're like Man United fans. It's because Matheus Cunha is like, I only want to go to Manchester United. Brian Mbumo. What about Spurs? What about go somewhere else? Go to Chelsea. I only want to go to Manchester United. I think even reports came after we signed Mbumo, wasn't it? That Man United felt like Brentford wanted or would have preferred to sell him to Spurs. I would have preferred to sell him to Chelsea. But because of the steadfast, I only want to join Man United, that helped us. But us finishing 15th in the Premier League and then signing two of the highest goal scorers and best performing players in the Premier League last season, we should not be able to do that. We should not. So I know it's Man United. We take the piss, and that pull is not what it used to be. Totally understand that. But they are very good signings. They are very good signings. And I think the sort of reaction to all of them, it kind of shows that they are good signings, I think, as well. Terence says, I'm more concerned how we are finding it hard to sell anyone for proper big money, because when we buy, it's always plus 60 million. We need to sell for big bucks. Absolutely. I mean, but it's funny, isn't it? Because when was it? It was during the match view. It was during the match view on Saturday when the Rashford news came through at the time. And I still don't really, I understand the sentiment, but I don't understand the logic, to be honest, because I think people weren't being realistic at all. There was a lot of this, Barca, they've just, why we should have sold Rashford for 40 million pounds. We can't, it's just another loan. We didn't sell him. Why didn't we sell Marcus Rashford for 40 million pounds? And you go, really? Did you really think Man United were going to sell Marcus Rashford really this summer? When he had, a bit like the Mbumo and Cunha one, he said, I only want to go to Barca. Well, that's kind of ruined that situation then. On Barca, they don't want to pay 40 million pounds for Marcus Rashford. They wanted to pay money for Luis Diaz and Nico Williams, But Rashford, they're like, oh, wages, you know, it's on over 300K a week. And then someone had the nerve to say to me on Saturday, well, if it was Chelsea, they'd have sold him for £40 million. I went,
no, wait a minute. Wait.
If you want to look at comparable situations here, Raheem Sterling at Chelsea, highest paid player at their club, on a contract above £300,000 a week. Similar age to Marcus Rashford. Similar profile in terms of an international player. Where is he? He's still a Chelsea player. He was being linked with moves. I think it was from, was it The Athletic yesterday? Saying like an unnamed Premier League club was looking at Raheem Sterling. How much were they looking at him for? Possibly like 20 million, maybe even less. And even then, it's difficult because of the wages that he's on. For me, we've got a situation, we've probably got on genuinely, and this isn't like any on spin, the Rashford situation is probably as best as it could turn out for us this summer. Realistically, I mean, the ideal situation is that we would have sold him £40 million. It's done, pure profit, it's over. But I don't think that was realistic. That we probably got the best case scenario for us, which is the deal got done in July. I genuinely thought it was going to be like late August and it was going to go right to the end of the window. All of his wages are covered. He took a pay cut. Manchester United saved, like, was it 17 million quid? Already, Barca, you see their financial problems. What was the story that came out yesterday? Because it's the same when they sign every single player. Well, it's a bit difficult to register him at the moment. They've got to move some things around, and they've got to. It's the same. It's always the case with Barca. They'll register him, but it's always whatever. So it's like, and we just don't have to worry about that. And look, if Rashford does well, they've got the option. Was it 30? Is it like 35 million euros? I think it's around 30 million quid. So if they got that option, 30 million pounds, pure profit, go. You know, and then look, if it doesn't work out and he does come back to us, well, then he's not going to pigeonhole himself to Barcelona, because that's what he's been doing since December. Since December, it was, I want to go to Barcelona. I want to go to Barcelona. I want to go to Barcelona. You can't go to Barcelona in January. They can't afford you right now. I'll go on loan to Aston Villa to the end of the season. Then I want to go to Barcelona. I want to go to Barcelona. If he goes to Barca and it doesn't work out, he'll come back and then he'll get sold. But this time will be easier to sell because he'll actually be open to moves. And if he goes there and does well, which Flex mentioned it on the Football Flex yesterday, I agree with him. I think he'll do fine. I think he'll do fine at Barca. And then if they buy him, we get the money. And it would take and he's been shown that he's willing to take a pay cut to go there. So it's out of our hair for another 12 months. We actually have made money on that. We're saving, rather, £17 million. The next thing is that has to go into getting players in. So, and then when you talk about, to Terence's original point about moving the players on, that's when you go look at, you go, right, Garnacho, that's the next one. You know, okay, can we make that happen? How close does that one look at like happening? Super Arch says people are scarred from the Højlund buy. Højlund was a terrible buy, but not every young striker will be like him. Sesko is more suitable by profile. I mean, I get your point there, Super Arch. I think, like you said, I do think people are kind of scarred from it. And I think they would just rather go down the route of, again, that kind of better the devil we know, which is, you know, can they do it in the Prem? Are they ready to go right now? We're just not in that position, are we? We're just not in that, particularly after finishing 15th and us not scoring goals for however many seasons. We're just not in that position, I think, to take a bit of a gamble on a young player and have to give them the benefit of the doubt of, it's going to take a year. It's going to take a year or so. You know, if he was coming into a team where he was scoring goals and, the team was scoring goals and they were still challenging for European positions to be one thing, but we finished 15th. And we really, really, really need to get up the table and get people that are going to make a difference immediately. We just don't have time for the sort of project strikers at the moment. We really, really don't. And look, Hoyland might end up staying over the summer, and he might be still the project striker on the bench. Who knows? But I just don't. I think the powers that be will look at that performance last season, look at that team, and be like, if we've got any kind of reservation about their ability to get into this team immediately and score goals, deliver on a weekly basis, then we probably can't gamble on that right now. We need right now, and if we have a good season, we get in the Champions League or whatever, then that's when you start going, all right, look at these project strikers. But even that feels like a big ask of how rubbish we are, doesn't it? We're nearly 1,400 people watching, guys, which is fantastic. We're 130 likes away from 500 likes. So if you haven't already, click the like button and be sure to subscribe. Let's talk about this Jadon Sancho thing, because this is odd, very, very odd. I suppose we shouldn't be too shocked by it all. So you recall Jadon Sancho that said he's going to Juventus, right? He's going to Juventus. He's not. Yeah, David Ornstein said in the Athletics podcast that Jadon Sancho has been heavily rumored to be closing in on a move to Juventus. That is not accurate, as I understand it, at all. And I'm not quite sure where that's emanating from. Well, I'll tell you where it's emanating from, David Ornstein. If you go on social media, and Gianluca Di Marzio, Alfredo Padula, that they've all been saying for weeks, haven't they? Weeks. Jadon Sancho's never been. I suppose the red flag. Where's the red flag?
Red flag.
I suppose the red flag with those stories is whenever you hear it's never been closer. He's never been more close. He's never been nearer to a Manchester United exit than he is right now. And you go, so is he left, or is he going to leave? He's never been more close. It's like the whole things are happening guy, isn't it? It's like the things that happened with Gerard Romero with the Frankie de Jong saga a couple of years ago with his bell that he was ringing. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Things are happening. Ding-a-ling, Manchester United. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. They're available, and you go, well, what the fuck are you doing? And in the end, they signed him. So yeah, I don't know. The one thing that I think is concrete about Jadon Sancho, I don't know if you saw this, was when I think he was on Instagram and he was sort of responding to comments. And he was saying about winning a European trophy and all that jazz. I don't know. I really don't know, because if all of this Juventus stuff, as they're saying, is bullshit, and you can see that Juventus are actively signing players, by the way. I've just seen there's like a swap deal that they've just done with Porto about signing a player. I don't know. And this is one where you're talking about how much money we're not going to get that much for Jadon Sancho at all. And when those links turned out to be not true, but when those links were coming out about Sancho going to Juventus, I mean, initially it started from 25, it went down to like 15. I could see us, this is one of the ones where I genuinely could see a scenario where United and Sancho just decide to go their separate ways, or United have to actually pay him off. I don't think Sancho would be willing to give up his contract, because as it's been proven, it is actually about money to him, because it's not necessarily about playing football or getting into the England team or what have you. It's about money. And Man United might have to sort of just take the hit. That might be one where it is just like, actually, should we just pay him off? We're not going to get any money for it. But that might be like a last resort option. Like I said, there's still a lot of time to go of the window. Things can still be worked out. And clubs still might come in. But it doesn't feel like anything's particularly close to happening there, does it? And certainly no ways being reintegrated into United. I mean, obviously the USA squad was announced yesterday, and the exiled five, none of them were in there to obviously no surprise. One person that wasn't in there as well was Harry Maguire, and it was then reported that there was a personal issue. He even went on, I think it was his Instagram story, and said that he was flying out, I think today. So he's going to be joining up with them today. So apart from that, it's full squad, bar the exiled 5. Even players that are injured. Andre Onana was on the plane. He's not expected to play any part, but rehabilitation. Leach Martinez on the plane. He's not expected to play any part in pre-season, but it's about, recovery and just being with the squad. Those 5 players, obviously Rashford, we know, is going to get announced by Barca probably any minute now. And then Sancho, Anthony, Garnacho, Malacia, etc. And even like the Malacia one, it's always a bit weird to include him into that group, because, but I suppose, part of the exiled 5, because we're not going to make any money off him. It's not he's going to go for big bucks, is it? So there's no chance of reintegration with Sancho. So I guess we just have to wait and see if someone's willing to take a gamble. But that's going to be a struggle, like we were talking about previously, because once again, the wages. Chelsea weren't prepared. Chelsea wanted to keep him, but he wasn't prepared to take the pay cut. Then where are you going to go, mate? You turned Saudi down a couple of years ago. Are they even interested in you at this point? Well, probably, but are you willing to go there? Feels like a lot of the people that end up going to Saudi at this point end up leaving after a season or two. Look at John Duran. I saw Aymeric Laporte. I think he's going back to. Did he go back to Bilbao? I think he's going back to Spain. He's out of the Al Nasser project, so I'm not sure. Could he end up going to Turkey? Perhaps. I think previously there were reports that sort of suggested that he kind of didn't want to go to Turkey. But hey, a lot of good players are going to Turkey now. Suddenly there's this influx of money in the Turkish Super League, isn't there? You've got Galatasaray signing Osimhen and Leroy Sané. You got John Duran signing for Fenerbahce. Yeah. So maybe he decides to go there. I'm not sure. But it's just a sin of the past. It's the sin of the past. It's Man United putting a player on a big contract, it not working out, and then in a few years' time, them wanting to move the player on, and they realize they can't because everyone looks at that and goes, "Well, I'm not going to touch that. Obviously, why would I? It's a silly contract." Joe Flem with the super chat says, "I would be over the moon with loans at central midfield and right wing back." I did see. I don't know if you guys have seen this morning. I just saw it on my timeline here about the Javi Guerrera links. This is again a really odd situation. So, is it Guerrera? Would you say it? Guerrera? He was a midfielder. We were linked to. He was a midfielder. We were linked to like a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, for about like 30 minutes. I'm not even exaggerating. For like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And I was like, Man United are going for him and going to get him. And, from Valencia. And it was the whole thing. And then literally 30 minutes later, 45 minutes later, was Man United aren't getting him. He's signing a new contract, or he's in heavy new contract negotiation with Valencia. Like, it's not happening. It's not happening. Anyway, this morning, once again, reports coming out of Spain are suggesting that Manchester United are preparing a £22 million bid for the midfielder from Valencia. Valencia will not accept anything less than 26 million. The suggestion has been that Guerrera has rejected, or has decided to reject, the renewal offer that Valencia put on the table around or so a week ago. The player and his agency have analysed the proposal calmly and decided it doesn't fit their needs. They expect something better from Valencia. United are keeping an eye on the player and continue to work behind the scenes to bring him to the Premier League. They're willing to pay £22 million. As I mentioned, the suggestion is that Valencia will accept 26. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, look, he's 22 years old. By all accounts, Man United have been following him for a while, and he's still negotiating this this. He's still negotiating this contract. I would still not be shocked, to be honest with you, if it comes out like later today, that that he signed a new contract or something. No, we signed a brand new contract. Signed a brand new contract. What? I would be shocked by that. But a young central midfielder from La Liga. Look, one thing's for certain, when it comes to midfielders, this is something that Fleck's been mentioning a lot recently, isn't it? And it was really apparent on Saturday. Even Ruben Amorim came out and said it after the game. You look at our midfield and you look at our inability to pass the ball, or our sort of technical ceiling is on the floor. Our ability to sort of progress the ball through midfield, play forward passes, play passes that aren't sideways or back to the horseshoe and just go back and through the horseshoe a million times. We can't do it. We can't do it. So we do need that player in midfield that has a level of technical ability, because we just don't have it. And it was at points actually quite refreshing to see Mateus Cunha, because when he would pick up the ball even from a deeper position, he'd get it, go forward with it, try and play the ball forward. So I can't say I know loads about Javi Guerrero, and that's exactly what he is. Maybe you could do the superficial, Spanish midfielder. Most of them are technically decent, for whatever that means. Hasn't played for the Spanish national side yet. He's still young, only 22. He's played a lot for the Spanish under 21s. According to Wikipedia, and they're never wrong, says Guerrero is a talented midfielder who can play either in a holding or more advanced position in midfield. He covers long distances, has a great short game, and is great at delivering three balls and great tackling skills. It would sound like someone that Manchester United needs, great tackling skills. That's the problem with Ugarte, isn't it? Yeah, he's great winning the ball back. Can't pass for shit. Like technical level on the floor. Can play in a bit of a deeper role. Like that. Great short game. Good at passing. All right. But I believe it when I see it. And not on a comp. Yeah, I'll believe the story when I see it. And I'll believe the player, when they actually, I would hope that he's the right fit. But like I said, I still wouldn't be shocked if that's one where soon it comes out. Oh, he signed a new contract. Oh. It's DJ Buzzy says, freedom fighter, that's Jane Sancho, will rather sit at home and get paid £300,000 a week than take a pay cut and go somewhere to play football. No hope on that guy. Worst signing in my generation. TBH. Wow. Strong words there. So yeah, hopefully we've got more updates coming soon about strikers, midfielders, goalkeepers, etc. Like I said, folks, pre-season is now upon us. I mean, it started the weekend, but the pre-season tour, is now upon us. Flex, KG, Just Josh Media, Graphics Guru, Visual Ninja, I'm getting quicker and quicker, I'm saying it every time, are on their way. If they're not there already, they're flying today. I don't know what time their flight is, but they're flying to the United States today. When they land, they'll be probably uploading something to say that they've landed. A couple of, was it last year or the year before? I think it was the year before. They landed and they went straight to Times Square and did a Flex and KG show in Times Square. It was a madness. They'll be doing the same thing. Oh, yeah, last year they did it at the Biggie Memorial as well. That was good. That was good as well. So they'll be doing madness, craziness. Now's the time to subscribe if you haven't already. Click the notification bell because the upload schedule inevitably goes out the window because of time zones and what have you. So, yeah, click that notification bell and you'll be notified every time we go live for any breaking transfer news or any uploads from Flex and KG over there stateside. The matches, I mean, you'll see this in match previews and what have you, but the matches start this Saturday. And I'll tell you what, folks, I've made a decision. Last Saturday for the preseason game against Leeds, we went live an hour before kickoff. We're back to 2 hours. We're back to 2 hours like it's usual because it's a match day. I don't give a shit. Yeah, I don't care if it's too long or anything like that. We're going live 2 hours before. That's what we always do every match day. I'll go live 2 hours before, and then with build up, with team news. And I'm thinking, you know what? It's the transfer window. It's the transfer window. It's the pre-season tour. We'll go live 2 hours before. We'll be chatting about transfer news, player news, team news, what have you. And then we'll be doing all of the matches. You'll have them live here as always. We'll be up to the wee hours of the morning in the Asylum for the match views as well. So we've got you all covered. Yeah, we've got you all covered. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So be sure to lock in. Be sure to subscribe. Click the like button. Actually, let me see if I can redirect anyone. Who am I redirecting to this morning? Oh, there isn't anyone. Damn. I was going to redirect to someone, but there's no one live. So, you know, I tried. Anyway, guys, we'll be back. If there's any more breaking transfer news, there probably will be an upload from Flex and KG later on today. Have a good one, and I'll speak to you again very soon. I'm out of here. Peace.